In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how you can set up a very simple CRM inside of ClickUp so that you can get to work in organizing your new leads and your pipeline all in one place. If you're new to my channel, my name is Nicola Melinda. I am a verified ClickUp consultant and I work with agency owners and consulting teams to help them simplify their processes with the help of ClickUp. It's a well-known fact that ClickUp may not be a CRM as such. Because of the customizable abilities that the platform has, you can really craft your own CRM. A lot of agency owners have struggled to have a CRM that works well for their needs and for their business. And so by leveraging the features that ClickUp has to offer, they have been able to create a custom CRM that they can use inside of their business to help them manage their sales process. This is something I use in my consultancy and something I also help my clients to incorporate in their business as well. So if you've been trying to figure out a way that you can manage this process inside of your workspace, or you're curious to know how it can work inside of ClickUp, and perhaps you're considering ditching another platform to bring everything into ClickUp, I'm going to show you behind the scenes of how you can get that set up and how it can work seamlessly for your business.
Okay, so I'm going to walk you through a super simple CRM setup that you can use in ClickUp. There's a lot of debate back and forth about whether ClickUp should be used as a CRM, and in all honesty, the platform offers so many features that allow you to build out a customized CRM that can work for your agency or for your small business. So this is what I do, how I help clients to build it for themselves. So, where you can start first and foremost is by having a space that is dedicated to this process. So, I do recommend having a space called sales or growth or pipeline, whatever you use in your business. So, we have three different lists, and we'll focus today predominantly on the leads list, but we also have a list for onboarding and client accounts as well. Inside of the leads list, our first port of call is at the top. We've got different views that can be used. So the main view or the default view that you will have is the leads list view. Any leads that are coming into this area will sit inside of this list view. And we already have like some sort of a dashboard built out already. We've got a few different custom fields in place. Some of these custom fields are a part of the form that I'll share with you. And then some of these custom fields are additional fields that you can fill in order to support you through your sales process. So the interest form or the contact form is the first way of starting this process off. So if your first step in your sales process is for people to fill out a form, then you can build that form inside of ClickUp. This is what it looks like behind the scenes. So we have all of our custom field, our main questions that we want to have answered. The task name for this form is going to be the company name. So we're having the business name as the name of that task or that card that's created. Then we have two fields for the contact name. So we've got a field for the first name and for the last name. The reason being is that when it comes to automating emails down the line, it's a lot easier to do that, splitting the text, and then you can actually send more personalized emails. Then we're asking for the email address so that we can capture that to stay in touch with our prospect. And we also want to ask about the questions and the help that that particular prospect is coming to us for. So we're going to ask them to share some details here, and this will go into the task description for us. Then we have a question asking about how they heard about us. This is a tag field, it's a custom field, and there are various options that they can select. And then we're just asking about the service that they're interested in as well. And again, these fields you can see offer the option for custom logic. You do need to be on a higher price plan to use custom logic in ClickUp forms. But if you are on that price plan and you do have access to that, then you might have some different workflows or questions that you do want to ask your prospect based on what they answer on the form. So as well, we've got some back-end options here. So all of these tasks are going to be assigned to myself. I've got a redirect URL, which is just going back to my website. So it's not going anywhere special. And then we've got some options here. We've got ClickUp branding. If depending on your price plan, you may have to keep ClickUp branding. You have the option to add all of the custom field answers into the main description of the task, and then you can keep the fields full width on the form as well. If you want to add reCAPTCHA to eliminate spam, you can do that just to say, I'm not a robot. And if you've got a response message, you can also have a response message added as well. You can also update the message at the bottom of submitting. So that will be the submission button. So now that that's all saved, what you can do is grab the link. As long as your form is active, make sure it's active. You get to have a preview of the form itself and see what it looks like. And I should say at the top here, you've got the option to add in or update the name of your form. So you could change this to contact form or contact us. You can add in some text here as well at the top. So you can make all of these edits on the form itself, and then your form can be viewed in a browser. So this is what it would look like. We've got all of our fields in place. So let's fill this out like we were a client. So we've gone ahead and filled out the contact form. And so this is a form that you can have embedded on your website, or you can share this link on your socials, LinkedIn, Instagram, all of your socials, even your website. If you use buttons, you could just add that link directly to the form. The great thing about this is once you submit that form, it then will redirect your prospect back to wherever they were before, and that form is now added directly into your ClickUp. So that data has come inside of ClickUp. We've now got our new lead or contact in place. We've got all of the information. So you can see here that the custom fields are filled out. We actually don't need some of these custom fields. So I'm going to run through what we don't need. So we don't need the company name. So we can hide that for now. In Dubsado, so this is a custom field if I was using Dubsado outside of my process, which is another CRM business management tool. So we're not going to worry about that field. You can see that I have a field which is called the lead stage, and that is telling me that a form has been completed. So these are all the different stages that my leads will go throughout my sales process. I've also got some additional stages, which is what we call the status. And again, we've updated that. So we've got new lead, nurturing, won, disqualified, or lost. So we're able to categorize the stage that our leads are at based on what actions they have taken in our sales process. So this particular person has filled out a form. So our automation has updated this to say that this lead is now being nurtured. We now are able to see what service that person is interested in. So we can say what the value of that job would be. So this is a money field where we can add in what the potential value of that job would be. How confident do I feel about obtaining that particular piece of work? This is a rating field, and I can just say how confident I feel I would be at winning that piece of work. And then we have a super cool field where we automatically update the last contact date on this particular client. So that is today. I've just filled that in. And so we can always see any updates that are made will reflect inside of this column here. If this client or if this prospect or this process was started from booking a call first, so perhaps you use Calendly for your discovery calls and you have someone book a discovery call and fill out a form using Calendly, you can still use Zapier to bring that lead into ClickUp, and you can still manage your sales process in the same way. The only difference is I would add in a custom field where you can populate to say that you have a call booked on the 24th as an example. So you still can bring all of that information and data directly into ClickUp right here, which is super cool. Now, if I open up this card, this is now going to become the client card for this particular individual. So if we go ahead and open up this card, now what this is going to do is act as our contact card for the foreseeable future. So if you're used to using other external CRMs, then this is how you can manage this inside of ClickUp. So the task card itself has now become the contact card for our particular client. So we've got their company name, we've got the description of what they've added onto their contact form. Now, on the activity side of things, we can see exactly what's been going on in real time. So I can see that an automation has fired out to send them an email to acknowledge that they've filled out a form. We've also sent them an invitation to book a call with us, and we've sent our scheduler out to them. So that email has sent out automatically. I don't need to do anything, but I can see when it was sent. And if there was any more updates, then I will see those updates. So I've also updated the custom field to say that a call is booked for Thursday, and I can see that in real time. So now, if there are any other updates, such as additional notes, if you're having conversations with the clients, you can always add those updates right here in the activity field, and it acts as like a timestamp on when you have last interacted with that client, what updates were last made for that particular prospect, and all of the things. So you could say that call has been scheduled. So, if you have different salespeople on your team, this is again another great way to keep a track of who is updating what information on each particular client account. So, it will tell you who actually has made the updates. So, it will show who has commented, who's actually monitoring this particular client account. So, you could assign this to an individual, and this will sit with them on as their account. So we can see here on the dashboard that we have some different stages. So we're using a combination of custom fields, and I'm also using the statuses to help me to categorize and organize my pipeline. So the views at the top also allow me to do this. And in this particular view, I'm grouping the cards based on the lead stage. So these are all of the lead stages inside of my pipeline process. So if you're familiar with using the Kanban boards to manage your CRM, manage your leads, then you can also do this inside of ClickUp. So if there are any updates, we can always drag our prospect into that particular board view, into that particular lead stage, and it will always update for us. So we've got all the information there that we need to see. And you can always customize this view as well. So you can choose what you want to see on the card. So if you go to customize fields, you can say what fields you want to have on show. So I might just take off the priority field, maybe even the status field we don't necessarily need to see. But if we scroll down, we can see some of our custom fields that we have actually created. So I could switch on service. This is a service that they're interested in. I could put their email address, first name and last name, and we can also add in call booked date, so I can see exactly when we've got a call booking. So you can see here that we've customized this card. So all of any other leads that come into our pipeline, we can actually manage and customize how we view that information inside of ClickUp. The other view that I want to share is we do have a view for sales calls, so we can see what calls we have on the diary. And again, if you do have a team in place, you can customize who sees what. So you can have your team actually decide what fields they want to see. So we can have this based on the assignee. So I can say this is assigned to myself, or if there's another account manager, you can have those fields show up as well. So this is a really great way for you to just have your calls on the diary, and you can view that quite easily inside of this view. So what we also have, which is super great, is some automations that support the sales process actually progressing. So you've already seen a couple of automations take place already in this demo. The first automation that you've seen is the email sending out. So every time a task is created, we do have an email that will send out automatically. So we've got this set that it is only for tasks that are created. So a main task will basically be the company that we're working with, and then the options will be based on when a form actually creates that task. So we've kept them all ticked for now because they're relevant for the time being. It also means that when you manually add in a new lead as part of your pipeline to this list, then an email will also send out to that particular lead as well. The email is from our inbox. So we've connected this to ClickUp. I do have another tutorial on the channel, which I'll link for you somewhere in the description on how you can set up your email into ClickUp. And then we've got our actual email itself. So you can see here that we've hyperlinked for the prospect to be able to book a call. We've added in some smart fields. So this is where we've added in just the first name so that email can be personalized. And we've also added in a email signature, which again is a really great way for you to be able to customize your emails and make them more personalized. Yes, this is automation, but we are still all about keeping automations customized, especially when it is to do with the client experience. The other automations that are in place are all in line with updating the statuses as our leads are moving through the sales process. So, what this means is that we're not focused on updating the status of this task. So, if I go over to our leads list, what you'll see is that we have our statuses, but we're not updating the statuses of these cards. Instead, we are updating the lead stage. So every prospect will go through various stages. They will need to book a call, we will need to send a proposal, we will be waiting for them to sign a contract. Once that contract is signed, they'll go into onboarding. And those are the stages for our sales process. So we'll always make sure that these are broken down. And that's why the board view could actually be a default view actually for yourself. So you can always set that as a default view. So every time you come into your sales pipeline, you can have an overview on all of your different opportunities and what stages each opportunity is at. So if someone has just just completed a form, you would know these people need to be followed up with. If there is a call, then after the call has taken place, potentially they should be receiving a proposal, or you'll be updating the status. The only time you'll need to update the status is if they are lost. If it is a lost lead or disqualified, maybe they're just not suitable for working with you, and so you'll just update that status. But once that is a lead that is going to work with you, perhaps they've signed a contract, what will happen is we have the automations in place so that that will now transfer that lead as an active account. And then we can move into additional steps to actually onboard that lead as a new client inside of our agency. So I'm going to do a separate video on how we can do onboarding inside of ClickUp. So definitely check out that video once it goes live on the channel. That will talk you through how you can manage that process as well.
I don't know about you, but when it comes to using ClickUp, I'm all for keeping things simple. And hopefully today's video has highlighted exactly what simplicity can look like in building out a CRM. It's not something that has to be overly complicated. You can still incorporate automations, and it can help you to scale your company, keep a track of your pipeline, and keep on track with all of your key contacts. If you've watched this far and you're enjoying the content, please do drop a like and hit subscribe so that you are always notified of new videos that are coming out on the channel. And if you're interested in leveraging ClickUp even more for your agency, then check out my services below in the description. I will link the different ways that you can work with me inside of your agency to help you to leverage ClickUp even more. And this is just one of the things that I can help you to implement so that you can continue to grow and operate your business with ease. Until next time, thank you for watching.